All right, talk about this Raw show here, which was pretty good. There was some good wrestling on the show. There's some shitty finishes, but you're going to get that with WWE. But in terms of bell-to-bell action, there was some good matches on this show. And it opened up with Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair, and they got 20 minutes, and they had a very good match. And as noted, after a very good match, there was a lame finish, which was...
Well, no, I mean, I thought the finish, I mean, you could say lame finish, but for what they're doing in their storyline, it was the right finish because you didn't want the heel to win clean, but they didn't want to change the title. I mean, your other choice is a DQ because they didn't want to beat Bianca clean. That would be foolish right now at this point. So, and they're trying unsuccessfully to make people boo Becky Lynch. I mean, it was kind of funny because they did a deal later in the show because Becky Lynch, when she won and she held the tights, she cheated to win, and the whole place cheered. I mean, I looked and people were standing up. I mean, they reacted totally, it wasn't Bianca got some boos, but it wasn't a lot. Becky might have gotten some, but they were all drowned out by cheers. I hardly heard any. When she won, there were no boos. And then at the end, because these interviews are scripted ahead of time, Becky Lynch does this promo. I mean, it's always funny when they refer to the crowd in their promo that's pre-scripted because they do not know what the crowd will do. And she's doing this whole promo about how 50% of the fans were booing me and they're so fickle and ungrateful and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it would have been great if 50% of the fans were booing you, but they're all cheering you even when you cheated to win. So... but the cheating to win it's part of the storyline. So, I mean, to me, if you're doing something that's like when you're just doing a cheap finish to get out, that's one thing. But when it's part of the storyline, to me, that's the right. I thought it was the right finish for that day and that show.
Well, I mean, my problem with the finish is that this is the fourth time, I believe, that Becky has beaten Bianca in a championship match. So I don't even know what the story is. I mean, we've seen this match multiple times. Bianca can never win. It's like, are we going to just keep doing the match? What's the point here?
Well, I'm sure at some point she's got to win. I don't know when, but she better win. I mean, with the storyline going the way it is, I mean, they're pushing her. They're pushing it in that direction, but I don't think they're quick to take it off of Becky Lynch.
Well, they're definitely not quick to take it off of her, but, I mean, everything you mentioned with the crowd is absolutely true. Like, the whole point of this, I thought, was this is designed to get Bianca over as a big babyface star.
Yes.
And what they have done is they have beaten her now 4 times. Becky beats her by throwing her to the buckle and pulling her tights. The fans pop huge for Becky beating her. And it's like, this is not helping Bianca Belair. I see zero evidence that this is helping her in any way.
Well, the problem is that Becky Lynch is more popular than Bianca Belair.
Well, she's beating her every time. I mean, she's pushed as a huge superstar. I mean...
But she's cheated to beat her, but the reality is that the fans like Becky Lynch more than Bianca Belair, and so the idea is to switch the fans, and it has not worked because... they have decided that they like Becky Lynch more, whether she's being a heel or not, and whether she insults them. It's like she's, the crowd. It's I hate to compare it to the Austin thing because she's in Austin, but there is a similarity in the sense that, when they tried to turn Austin, and Austin did get some boos when they did it.
Forget Austin. This same exact thing happened with Becky. They already tried this once.
Oh yeah, a couple of years ago when
that's where the whole man thing even came from. They tried to turn her heel, and the fans were like, "We're not going to boo her."
Well, it was a lot less successful the last time because the last time they were so totally, into her. Now it's like it's muffled. You know what I mean? It's like it wasn't like, she's like totally crazy over like she was a couple of years ago. Now, I mean. And she, perhaps if they didn't turn her or try to turn her, maybe she would be that way, like when she came back. But, the idea of turning her, it's, I mean, we look, when they said they were going to do it, we all knew it was a bad idea. Here we are months later, and it was a bad idea. No, it's not helping Bianca Belair because she's fighting a more popular wrestler over and over and over again. They're booking in a way to turn her, except it's not working. So when you figure out it's not working, you probably should change directions. I don't know about pushing, I mean, they're really committed to her as a heel because, obviously the next opponent's Liv Morgan, and quite frankly, I don't see Liv Morgan being cheered against her either. And it probably won't help Liv. It is one of the bad things, and this is, Hogan did this in WCW when he was the cool heel, and, it kills. There's nothing that kills babyfaces more than going against a heel that's way more popular than them. And so, yeah, it's these babyface women that go against Becky Lynch. It's going to be very difficult for them to get over, no matter how well, Becky tries. It's a death sentence, trying. I wouldn't call it a death sentence is probably too strong. But it's a crippling situation when you put a babyface against a heel who the fans are going to cheer, and they're going to cheer, and that's the situation that they got.